Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the 1 Point Safety Show, and Happy New Year to you all. Joined as always by my glorious co-host Scouse Andy. How are you, mate? All right?
I'm hanging in there, mate. I'm hanging in there. How about yourself?
Apart from being pissed off with Liverpool, which we just had a probable 10-minute conversation about. But yeah, we needed to catch up as well, so apologies for keeping you. And technical issues has meant we are a little bit late, so I apologise. You're right, Rod. We need to put some pound coins in the meter and get it going. Start as we always do with our sponsors. Dunstable Town FC's Talk of the Town podcast, with their sponsor for this season. You can go across and have a look at them if you're into non-league football. Also, oddballs.com. Go across to My Oddballs and have a look at their pants and socks and everything else on there. Obviously, Fusion Therapeutics, northwichphysio.co.uk. They provide expert MSK assessments and treatment plans with a focus on holistic care, dedicated to improving your well-being by tailored musculoskeletal health plans. The team offer specialist injection therapy and non-medical independent prescribing. If you're in the Northwest Manchester and Cheshire area, please give the team a call on 01606 512 013, or you can book online. Now, I'll urge you to do this if you do have any physio issues, or you're putting it off, or you're waiting for the NHS, whatever you're doing. If you are in that area, please give the team a call, all right, or go on the website, and you'll get a lot from there. 5-star reviews coming out of their ears, so go and give them a look there. Also, if you want to look at the writing side of life and CBS picks and see who won the Picks League, it's bleedingburgundy.com. You can go over and check that out as well. And that's about it for our sponsors, mate. So news-wise, Scouts, it's been a quiet week. It's been a quiet week in Washington land, hasn't it? Something like that, mate, yeah. But we'll start, because we missed it last week, we'll start with the review of because obviously Christmas and all that other stuff. We'll start with the Eagles game, mate. 24-17 win, moving our final standings to 5-12 on the season. We did see part of the fan base go mad and go, oh, we've gone from 5 to 7. I don't give two shits about moving from 5 to 7. If you can't pick a player at 7 as opposed to picking a player at 5, then you're in the wrong game. You know what I mean? You really are in the wrong game. Don't care about draft stock. Happy for Josh Johnson that he's won his second game ever as a professional, and it's both with the same franchise. Oddly enough, but there you go. It is what it is. What did you think went well, mate, in the game? We'll just briefly gloss over this, but we won't keep it there.
Yeah, I mean, we gave a good account of ourselves for a change. I thought we played quite well. Obviously, there was still loads of errors, but again, what do you expect? Yeah. Don't forget though, we did take on the B team.
Yeah, but then again, we were playing our backups. You have third string quarterback playing. You have a rotated offensive line.
I suppose that's why it was an even game, because it was an even game really. And I know we won it, but yeah, it was an even game. It was nip and tuck for a while. I thought it was a competitive game, even though it didn't really mean much. Whoever won didn't really matter. I mean, I think we made it a little bit harder for the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. So that's quite a nice little thing for us to say that, because I think if they won, they would have been 2 seed if I'm not mistaken, which means that they would have got home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Now they don't. Now they play at home in the first game, but then they have to play away after that. So it makes it a little harder for them to go all the way. So I'm happy with that from that angle. But yeah,
I agree with you. I've got the standouts I got here. I've got obviously Josh Johnson's second win. C-Rod with 16 carries, 45 yards, 1 TD. Josh Johnson with a rushing TD. Bates with a receiving TD. Von Miller, obviously Payne and Noah I with the sacks. Rees with the interception. And I thought Coleman stood out for me on the O-line. I thought he had a really good game. Even though, yes, their D-line is still a very good D-line, even as backups. So he did well against that. What I thought was poor in the game, fumbles again. 3 fumbles. Bill, Debo fumbled, Josh Johnson fumbled. 2 of them were recovered. The only one that was lost was the Josh Johnson one. And then pre-snap penalties, man. When you're on the 1 yard line, what are you doing, John Bates, to get done? Not John Bates, Sinnott to get done twice. Yeah. Oh my word! I was just
an idiot, man.
Wow.
It's like, mate, seriously, bro. Like, just can't you hold your frame for like that extra half second? You know what I mean? It's like, come on, it's basics, man. And we've been like this all season. I think. Yeah, and it was over 30 odd pre-snap penalties from the offense. in the
and
season.
I think we'll get into that in a minute. I think that's part of why one of the things has also happened that Moody missed a field goal from 24 yards out as well.
The only one he's missed, so I'm going to let him have one. That's fine.
Yeah. I'm like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? Just when,
you notice, though,
when you don't
it doesn't matter if your kicker misses if you win. Have you noticed that? But
no one's screaming about it, are they?
No one gives a shit then, do they? But everyone's after Tyler Loop at this moment. You see what I mean? Because he missed 44-yarder for the winner. You know.
Yeah. Did you see that with the holy water though? That the Steelers kicker Boswell also missed at that end. And the guy there was a priest went out there with holy water and was like did only that end zone, and both kickers missed. Just saying.
That's funny.
Bit of divine intervention there, but there you go. Yeah. But yeah, that's about it for that. So obviously it moves us to 5-12, a big off season ahead. Can we get back to anything like we were when we were in the championship? I mean, this season we knew it was going to be tough with the fixtures and schedule when it came out, and then we were like, yeah, we could probably 9-10 wins is kind of where we both were at the beginning of the season, and then injuries have obviously played their part. Poor play calling, poor defense has played as well, and you think, okay. I mean, if you actually look at the stats, 17 players on IR in total, which is 6 more than any other team in the NFL. So that in itself does speak to say that, you know, and this is not just the little niggly ones where someone will miss a game, someone, you know, and just one game, and then they might come back. This is full IR, like you're off for a minimum of 4 games, even if it's short-term IR. And I just look at that and go, wow, okay, you know, that's 16 different players on IR. Not include, but actual IR was 19 in total. If you include like Noah Brown went on twice, for example. So it's
that guy is IR. That's what he is.
He's Mr. Glassman himself. Yeah, but there you go. It is what it is. Yeah, we'll get into the meat. We'll get into the meat and the gravy of it then. Cliff and Joe Witt and Bobby Johnson, obviously from the O-line coach, are out. We knew that it was highly likely that Joe Witt was gone. He was obviously demoted from play calling and didn't really have a role. I mean, whether he's in janitorial services, as John Taylor says, you know, we don't know. I'm sure he can pick a cloth and a dustpan and brush up and go for it. But he's gone, so he's out the door, and with him, alongside him, Cliff Kingsbury. Now, I don't know how you feel about this. Obviously, Diana Rossini tweeted that there was some sort of disconnect between AP and Cliff initially, and I thought, oh, okay, this is a bit interesting.
I called it 3 weeks ago. Anyone listen to our show?
You did.
I mean, listened to our show 3 weeks ago. I said Cliff could be gone here, and not before head coaching jobs come up. You know, because he's not been that impressive. I understand he's had a shit deck of cards with the cute quarterback situation. I understand that. And obviously the wide receiver problem as well, with the injuries, etc. But the thing is that the guy, he has a playbook of a style of play, and that's it. He won't change that. He can't bend, and when he's forced to do and stuff that he doesn't want to do, like I think stats say we're 4th in rushing. The guy doesn't like to run the ball. You know he doesn't like to run the ball, and you can see that DQ's was kind of forcing to run the ball more, especially over the last, say, 4 weeks. So it's kind of like, we know what Cliff's about. We know, and he gets too fancy at the 1 yard line and red zone and all the rest of it, right? So we know what he does. We know what he's about. And teams get onto him. Like, you look at it from any team he's been at in the NFL, like, his first season, or maybe he's fantastic, yeah? And everyone is, oh, what a great play call, what this and that, the other. But then teams see the film and go, okay, that's what he's got. And then he doesn't change it after that. It's the same plays. It's the same thing. And defenses get onto it. 2nd season, 3rd season, he's done. And that
it's weird.
It's Arizona.
It did.
Arizona, and it's happened here. It's just a year earlier. You know, so it's kind of, I mean, I'm to be honest with you, I'm not going to miss him. Wow. I'm not going to miss him. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a bit shocked by it. I'll be honest with you. I expected him to have at least another year. I mean, I sat and watched the game with others in the chat, and it's not his fault we're not fucking getting it in from the 1 yard line. If you physically can't run it from there, What are you meant to do? I think he's been this year. He's been trying to make, chicken salad out of chicken shit. There's not a lot he can do.
Who's this? Cliff.
Cliff. Yeah, I think it's not his fault. All of this.
Wait a minute. So why is his play calling, especially on the 1 yard line? Why is he running Bill up the middle?
But why can't Bill get in from there?
Bill is like this. He's not a bruising back.
No. He's not a Chris Rodriguez.
Back. So why is he even? Why he shouldn't even be on that? That's why more recently, if you notice, Rodriguez took over the short yardage stuff.
Yeah,
and he was more successful. Why? Because he's a bruising back. It makes more sense. Like, it's all well and good having a guy who can do this on the outside and this, and we know Bill's got a nice jump cut and stuff like that. But on the 1 yard line, don't you shit that? You need brute force to get in. Especially when we middle, and we're awful at it.
When we watched it back. And we were looking back at it from the 1 yard line from the plays that we had before. We're literally trying to run on first down, not getting in. Trying to run on second down, not getting in. Then we're thinking, shit, we're going to have to do something to try and throw to get it in. And do an end around, whatever we could do. It worked for Josh Johnson. And he was able to get in, which was great. It worked. Other times as well, the Bates touchdown was exactly the same. He got out the side of the end zone, through, no problem at all. He's in. I'm like, that's great. But it's not worked for...
It's not from the 1.
It's not... That was from 4 yards. Now, look, if you're on the 1 yard line, you got to push to be able to get in, Dan. I think that's down to personnel. I also think he's been dealt a rough hand this year with the injuries that he's had. O-line... Yeah, maybe not. But I think fundamentally this boils down to there's disagreements between DQ and Cliff, not AP. I don't think it's got anything to really do with AP. Maybe AP's saying, we could do work better doing this. But I think Cliff DQ has wanted us to run the ball a lot more. And the designed runs for things like Jaden, does he? I'm just speculating here, but I've heard the local beat reporters saying, and John Kine was saying, Bram Weinstein was saying that, that there's been more to this than meets the eye, as you said 3 weeks ago. That DQ was probably out on Cliff already, saying, has he caused issues with Jaden Daniels because of constant calls directly to calling his number for designed runs? Now, again, I've heard it in... Yeah.
What do you always say, mate? Protect the merchandise.
Correct. Yeah, you do.
What do you do? What's Cliff do? Oh, yeah, I'll make him run fucking 50 yards down the inside. He's going to get smoked. And that's exactly what's happened to him this year. Last year, he got away with it most of the time. This year, the defenders get better. They watch more film. They see his tendencies now. They know what he likes to do. And look what happens. He got hurt.
There's always someone.
Very quickly.
There's always someone on the right hand side. So Jesse says it's not just Bill Scouse. They haven't been able to run on less than 2 to go in the past 4 years. We were terrible in short yardage, no matter what we were on the field. This is probably DQ's downfall. Again, don't disagree with you. I think the hitching your wagon to a brand new OC and DC, that's it now. The writing's on the wall for Dan Quinn as well. I think the writing's definitely on the wall. I don't remember if you said before you would have moved on from Dan Quinn maybe at the end of this season. I don't know.
Well, if he didn't win a couple of games, yeah, I would have. If he went like on that, I said before about that
3, yeah,
where he went that ridiculous losing streak, and if he carried it all the way through, I think if he lost 12 or 11 straight or something stupid like that, I think he would have been. I think he would have been kicked out. I really do. But he won against the Eagles, and he won. Didn't he win another game earlier as well? Was it the Giants?
Yeah, we did.
Giants?
Yeah.
So the players are still playing for him. So after we knew that, I know DQ was going to stay after that. I knew he was going to stay. And obviously DQ's obviously must have thrown maybe Cliff under the bus a little bit. We all knew Joe Witt was done, as you know, you mentioned yourself. So a bit like
I don't disagree with this. I think it depends on who you get in. Now, this is where I do disagree with Jesse. He's saying they've done Jaden dirty. It's a huge mistake getting rid of Cliff. I don't think it is. And we'll get into that probably a bit later because one of our. In fact, we'll talk about it now.
We'll think about Terry. Think about Terry. Oh yeah, we've done him dirty with 11 quarterbacks. No, it's not. No, that's fine.
And how many playbooks? Scott Turner, Eric Bieniemy, and now Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, one of the questions we got in from Scott G was saying that on the fans acting like letting Cliff Kingsbury go is the end of JD5. Do they truly believe that JD5 is not capable of learning a new offense, considering history in college and the NFL. He's shown that he can learn new schemes. Why are they making a mountain out of a molehill? It's not and then Jesse retorted, and fair enough, saying it's not about that JD can't learn a new offense. Of course he can't. But now he and the rest of the offense has to start from square one. It's set back 100%. Who's to say the new OC will even mesh with JD? JD is more important than any player or coach in this organisation, and rocking the boat seems dumb. Now look, I understand that. I do understand that. But it's got to stop talking about a mediocre wide receiver. Come
but
on,
the thing
Jesse.
but guess what? Jesse's is going to bat for a mediocre play caller. So what's that about?
I thought his offense, obviously, he kept catching lightning in a bottle, not knowing what JD was in the first year. It was great.
He's a mid play caller.
Watch.
He's a mid play caller.
Really?
Cliff's a mid play caller.
Yeah, I get it there. It's the statement, is what Scott G saying. It's the statement from JD about being disappointed. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. Yeah, exactly. This is what you got to kind of understand, man. It's like Cliff ain't all that. We can find somebody better, and especially if DQ's big time is looking at running the ball first, then we can find somebody who actually likes to run the ball first. At the end of the day, you've got your coordinators should be on the same page as your head coach, and it hasn't been like that. So
I agree with that. And I agree with the fact that we probably have to be a run first team, because what ideally I think that Peters and DQ want Jaden to be is a pass first quarterback. I don't want him to run out and bail out, the tendencies, even watching Jaden Daniels, and Jesse, you can agree with this, whether it's because he was injured, whether he's had a regression like a CJ Stroud season, he has not been good this season. Let's not pull any punches. Jaden's been shit this season. He's got a tendency to run out to the right as soon as it's there, and any defensive back or linebacker or safety watches the film, they'll know there's someone on the right hand side to stop him. That's it. It's as simple as that. It has to be a pass first quarterback, because we know he has the arm, we know he has the range, we know he can do every throw. I believe in Jaden Daniels. I think that is absolutely the truth. So what you need is an innovative offensive coordinator to come in and replace Cliff. Now we probably do have one, because one was fired today who has lots of connections to Dan Quinn, but we'll get into that as well as to who we think it could be, who it might not be. Jesse says you're ridiculous, Scouse, as well, so I don't know if you want to talk to that. Yeah, well,
obviously he's going to bat for his boy Cliff, isn't he? Even though Cliff is, as I said before, he's mid. So, it is what it is with that. I mean, the thing is, I don't think we'll miss Cliff at all. I really don't. You say you need an innovative guy
it depends. Yeah, but it depends who we get in. It depends who we get in.
You need a guy who actually knows how to call a game. That's what you need. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. You don't need him to be like, I'm going to do the stupid end around thing again. This bullshit jet sweep again on the 1 yard line doesn't work every time that he's in the fucking in the 1 yard line. And he does all the time. He's predictable. Defenses get onto it. It's end of. You need a guy who actually can change it. And I don't mean being stupid with like a trick play and all that. I'm talking like sometimes just brute force. Just get the fucking guy over the line. You know what I mean? And it hasn't been like that.
Do you think the head coach we actually wanted ended up in Chicago?
Oh yeah.
That's not true, Scott. The 3 games that was fully healthy, JD was damn near good this year, statistically better than last year. I'd have to look back at that. From what I've seen of watching Jaden Daniels, whether he was fully healthy or he wasn't fully healthy, he has the tendency to go out to the right. I'm not bullshitting with that.
He goes out to the right and throws it short. And the thing is that people get onto it. Van Ginkel got onto it, for a pick 6 against Minnesota. What did we get in that game? 0 points. How many games did we get under 14? Or I'd say under 17 points this year. Everyone goes on about how good Cliff is. He's not that fucking good, man. Trust me. We're not going to miss him. Trust me. Trust me on that.
All right, we'll hold it. We'll timestamp this. 8th of Jan.
Next year, bring it back and say, "Did we miss Cliff?" And the answer 9 out of 10 will say no. Obviously, Jesse.
I think it's dependent.
He loves it,
it's dependent on who comes in, Because let's be honest, if you're an offensive coordinator, well, I think everyone wants to see Mike McDaniel, who's just been fired from Miami today. So yes, that is as an. But will he? Yeah. So does he want an OC job where he knows Cliff, knows DQ, even knows AP from previous stops? He's from that Shanahan coaching tree, which is where they ideally what is being talked about is where they want to go. From that tree. Yeah, of course he was. But he's also with DQ. He's also been with AP when he was at the 49ers. So he knows what's going on here. Does he have an innovative offense? I think he does. Has he had players that have ascended under his tenure at Miami? Yes. A-Chain's one of the best running backs in the entire NFL. Tyreek Hill had his best season, better than he did with Kansas City when they traded for him. Tua looked good for 2 years. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that we're going to get him, because I do agree with part of what Jesse was saying before on socials was that he will get a lot of head coaching looks, I think. And that's probably
he should
that's
get
probably where we'll go.
I think that's the thing you're going to find. You see, is it's someone if you're going to wait for somebody like him. Like look what we did last season before we got Cliff. Before the head coaching job, we waited to see if we could get Ben Johnson, as we all know.
Yeah,
and then obviously turn the plane around, all that crap, right? But we waited right to the end of the season, when the playoffs were over. Too late then. You're already too late because all the head coaches have gone. The ones that were going to become head coaches. So we're struggling. Mm-hmm. We don't want to do the same thing again, but the OC. So if you're thinking about going for someone like McDaniel, you either ring him up and say, "Look, man, are you interested or not?" Like if you're waiting for a head coaching job, fine. Well, we've got to move on straight away. You can't fuck around with it. Do you know what I mean?
But I also think that the good thing with this is that obviously the familiarity is there. No, you can't. The familiarity is there with the top brass in DC and with DQ, which is great. He's still getting paid off. He's still getting paid off Miami till 2029 because they extended him on a 4-year deal. So he's going to get $4 million a year from Miami for the next 4 seasons.
Tell you what, it's great being bad, isn't it? Hey?
That's what I mean. So ideally, between what Cliff was getting, because Cliff was still due to get paid till 2027, what he was getting paid from Arizona still, and what McDaniel's getting paid from Arizona, I don't think the money-wise will be much different in what you were paying an OC. You could bump him as well by calling him an assistant head coach, give him a bit more money that way.
Especially
if you wanted to.
Robert Johnson's gone. Yeah, definitely. You could do that.
So
you could definitely do that. I mean, but for him, I don't think it's about the money as the head coaching money.
Wow.
I think it's like you want to be a head coach because it's quite hard to take that bit of pill, swallow that bit of pill, and then go down to become an OC again.
No, I get that.
You just got fired from being a head coach. At least with Cliff, he had a year out. He was away from the NFL. All those things before he came back to as an OC. McDaniel will be going straight into an OC role if he did come to us.
I know, but I do think it will. I actually think it will happen. I honestly do. I think it will happen because it's so much easier for him to come here because of the familiarity, because of the way it works. But it's do you get your friends in? I mean, I'm looking at this here. Geez, Jesse, you need to get drug tested, dude, because of all the head coaches in roles that are out there, the worst one I would want to go to is the Browns. Holy shit bags! I'd prefer to go to the bloody Giants. Honest to God, that's the one. You have a great defense, brilliant. But what are you doing with Shedeur Sanders? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? No, I have no idea what you're doing there. Yeah, you got a good pick in the draft as well.
His stats were very similar to Dylan Gabriel. I mean, this is not good.
Yeah,
Sanders ain't good. You know what I mean? You might get better, sure, but man, at the moment it's not good. And then you've got the dodgy guy who's come back on an Achilles.
Yeah,
as well. The $200 million man. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like
$200 million man. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're thinking, it's just a bad situation, that QB room. I bet the egos are ridiculous in there. I mean, I wouldn't even put it past if Shedeur's dad's all hanging around there all the time in the locker room and all that. I wouldn't put it past him.
Dion,
you know what I mean?
yeah, Dion might be better.
Yeah.
Rod wrote in on this. He said, "What? Well, they're not mucking about. Bobby Johnson's away as well. This is definitely a restyling of the offensive, especially with Blau being interviewed for the Lions OC job. We'll get onto that. It'll be interesting to see where Harbaugh goes to, if he goes to Miami, and if McDonald could be back as OC. It's clear that DQ felt that complementary football was not happening, and that you have to have both, and you've both commented on it. It seems that JD had reverted to run first rather than pass first when extending plays, so in a way he regressed in his development. This was a factor on him being injured, hence the changes." And he said, "Can you bring this up on Thursday?"
I think JD also lost confidence. I really do. You can see the reads he was making. He was making poor reads. You know, he wasn't fantastic when he played.
No, I agree with you. I didn't
a
think
9 out of 10. He was banged up, playing with some sort of injury for most of the games that he did play, but he was just processing. It was off. Like, you know, he was missing wide open receivers, as in, like, he wasn't even seeing they were there, not throwing the ball to him. I mean, he just didn't see them, and then he was making poor choices. And then what he would do, he would run first, as you say. You know what I mean? You see his 1-2 read and he's gone, where the third read was wide open. To see what I mean? Stuff like that. He just wasn't. And again, that's confidence, I think, more than anything else. And obviously kept getting banged up because he kept running more. See what I mean? So, you know, I think it's just a kind of a combination of both bad decisions, i.e. from Jaden, but also from Cliff. I do blame Cliff a lot for this year, 100%.
Oh, there you go. Well, we'll get on to the coaching changes then. All right, before we do, actually, we have to mention that we requested an interview for our defensive coordinator. We requested an interview for defensive coordinator over at the Raiders, Patrick Graham. He's the only one that's officially come out to say, yeah, we're looking at him for defensive coordinator. Now, on the defensive side, I haven't got a clue what they're going to do. I've said for weeks that it's going to be Raheem Morris. Sure enough, Raheem Morris got fired. Dude, if they can get Flores in somehow, who hasn't actually got any head coaching interviews whatsoever in this cycle, which is so surprising. Really? I mean, does he want? Does he want to hang around? Does he want to hang around in Minnesota?
The Evans type thing he put in.
Of course, with Miami. Yeah, of course it is.
So a lot of teams just like, nah, as a head coach, nah, you're right, bro. Type thing. Is it a bit like that, or
yeah? But he's obviously he's DC over at
he's quality
at Minnesota, and he's very very good. But there's talk he wants to move on. Would you throw the Brinks truck at him? Would you back the truck up for money and said, there you go? I saw it today, Scott. He hasn't had any interview requests, unless that's come out in the last hour. I had a look earlier and researched it. He hasn't had any interest whatsoever. Baltimore, okay, maybe I stand corrected. If that is the case, then fine. But I mean,
yeah, I'll take him as DC. Hell yeah.
Looking at the coaching carousel and where we are. And what we've got, I'll run through them all here. So at Washington, obviously OC and DC, we haven't got any reported interviews at all for OC yet, and DC we've just talked about. Atlanta Falcons have got a head coach. Their requested interviews have been former Cleveland Browns coach Kevin Stefanski, Seahawks offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak, Dolphins defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver. There's also got a general manager, and they interviewed Bears assistant GM Ian Cunningham, who obviously was in for RGM as well before AP came. And they've got a new role called President of Football, whatever that is. And they've requested to interview former Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan. I wonder who'll get that job. Panthers EVP of Football Ops Brandon Tills, and Lions COO Mike Disner. Albert Breer posted it about 6 hours ago. Well, I'm very sorry to Albert Breer that I don't look at his fucking social media. Generally, if it's not on Schefter, it's not on Rossini, it's not on Mike Garofolo or Ian Rappaport, I ain't seen it. So yeah, I probably missed that. But fair enough, Scott. Cheers.
I'm sure Scott, you will find one now from Schefter or something like that. He doesn't try and have you off.
Probably,
that's what he tries to do.
But dude, I've been at work. I can't keep hold of every.
The excuses are coming in now.
They are now, mate.
All the research.
Professional,
all of it.
Professional podcast. Atlanta Falcons head coach. They've requested former. Arizona Cardinals. They've got head coach. So they've got again Clint Kubiak, Patriots pass game coordinator Thomas Brown, Matt Nagy has been there. Raheem Morris has got an interview there. Robert Salah's got an interview there. and Vance Joseph from the Broncos has got an interview there as well. Baltimore, Clint Kubiak, Anthony Weaver, and then I've got on here
a choice, hasn't he? He's got a choice.
Vance Joseph again, Matt Nagy, and then Broncos passing game coordinator Davis Webb. And then, obviously, now we know it's Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores. So, cheers for that. You like knee pads, lol. Yeah, exactly. Brian Baltimore, Cleveland Browns, they've also got a head coach open there. They've requested an interview from Todd Monken from the Ravens. Seahawks defensive coordinator Aidan Durden, who's the British guy. He used to do the IPP stuff, if you remember, and he was at the Lions for a while. Browns offensive coordinator Tommy Rees and Bengals offensive coordinator Dan Pritchard. The Dallas Cowboys have got a defensive coordinator role. They haven't got any reported as of yet, but the possible candidates who they talked about. He's on the list. He's on the list. Yep.
100%.
He's on the list. Him, Steve Wilkes, and it says possible candidate Brian Flores.
You won't go to
Detroit.
Dallas.
Lions have got offensive coordinator. Washington Commanders QB coach David Blau has had an interview, or is due to have an interview next week. Bears offensive coordinator Declan Doyle and former Giants head coach Brian Daboll. So for an OC,
that Daboll could be coming to an interview for us.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
I'd boot his head right off his shoulders. You know what I mean?
At least that's something you and Jesse can agree on. I wouldn't be that bothered about it. I wouldn't be bothered about it.
The guy's a blade, mate. A full-on blade. Forget him, man. Forget him. Don't even interview him. Never mind. Even think about signing him up. Just don't do it.
So Vegas have got head coach and defensive coordinator, but head coach they've asked for Clint Kubiak. Surprise, surprise. Matt Nagy, Vance Joseph. Surprise, surprise. Same names. Davis Webb and Kevin Stefanski they've asked for as well. Defensive coordinator.
Stefanski, everyone goes on. He's highly respected, but let's face it, he's shit.
I don't think he was that shit. I don't think he was that shit. I think he's actually all right.
How was he all right when he's with the Browns?
Because the Browns have had nothing for years. It's not all down to him.
He's been the head coach for 3 years, 4 years, whatever it is, 5 years even.
If you're paying a quarterback a ridiculous amount of your salary cap, then you have to pay for your talent on defense, like a Myles Garrett. What are you going to do?
Did you? But don't forget, though. I mean, okay, some of the decisions are not going to be his.
It's the GM that's the problem. It's always been the GM that's the problem there.
But the thing is, though, what about like the quarterback scenario there, where let's take Dylan Gabriel out, and then stats-wise, him and Sanders are exactly the same near enough. So it's like, well, what decision was that about? Was that put on him from above potentially? Okay, if that's the case, then obviously he's got to go. Because he's lost respect for his team. The players won't play for him, you know what I mean? But for me, it's like everyone loves Stefanski. It's like, well, I don't rate him personally.
So Los Angeles Rams have got a special teams coordinator. No idea. Nothing reported yet for that. Miami Dolphins have now got head coach. They've also got general manager, so there's no request for interviews for head coach. For general manager, they've got 49ers Vice President of Player Personnel, Tariq Ahmed, Green Bay's Vice President of Player Personnel, John Eric Sullivan, 49ers Assistant GM, already inside, R.G. Gillen, and then Philadelphia Eagles Assistant GM, Alec Halaby, Rams Assistant GM, John McKee, San Francisco 49ers Director of Scouting and Football Operations, Josh Williams, and Miami Dolphins Interim GM, Champ Kelly. So, sorry, that's the one that was internal. The other one was obviously over at the 49ers, so apologies for that.
Speaking of internals, I mean, obviously David Blau is technically under our contract at the moment.
Yes, he is, yeah.
I mean, would you think we would interview him for OC?
For OC? No, I don't think so. I think they go to the other Johnson first.
So if that's the case, why are the Lions looking at him? They're a better organisation than us. Let's face it, they are. So they're thinking he's good enough.
He's a former Lions QB.
It can't be just because he's a former Lions QB. It's got to be that he like what he did.
It's can he run, dude? What's he done here? He's been the assistant quarterbacks coach.
Well, what are you going to do with Josh Johnson? 39-year-old peg leg. Yeah,
but it's not. But it's not. It's not his job to do that. Your job as the assistant quarterbacks coach is to sit in the room and polish a few balls and fucking that's about it. Pick up the equipment. Tavita Pritchard was the QB's coach, who's now at Stanford.
Yeah, and then he left, and then Blau took
exactly.
over.
So he's gone to Blau took over for the last 3 games.
Yeah. So what? Yeah, but so no. The thing is,
so I think he would be our QB's coach, and I think that is a good. He's then promoted to that full role. But they all they want is someone who can run Dan Campbell's offense. He's been in Dan Campbell's offense. He knows the playbook. Dan Campbell's still calling plays. It won't be the OC there will not be calling plays. That's the point. Dan Campbell calls the plays and has done all this season as well. He got in an OC to call.
He got abused after the he did a bad job to the guy.
Exactly. So and the same thing happened here. The same thing happened here.
That's not Monken, is it? The guy who
not
the Lions
Todd
guy.
Monken, no.
I can't remember his name, but honestly, he came from college, I think, and he wasn't that good. He was an older guy. I can't remember his name though. But yeah, but the thing is, I get it. It's Campbell's offense and but as you say, what's the point in having an OC if he's not going to call the plays though? Do you know what I mean?
What's the point?
I hate that. It's a sit and duck OC. What's the point then? I mean, for Blau, it's like, well, I get exposure and more money. I get it.
Look at Joe Witt. See what I mean? Dan Quinn ended up calling the plays. It's exactly the same situation here on the defensive side of the ball rather than the offensive. But look, if he gets an interview, and which is great, he's got an interview. Other head coaches, you've got New York Giants. They've requested, again, Stefanski, the same, Mike Kafka. Former Commanders OC and Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury. Colts, Lou Amarumu. Defensive coordinator Clint Kubiak again. And Mike McCarthy's got an interview apparently for there as well. Raheem Morris has got an interview for there. Vance Joseph and Antonio Pierce, who was the head coach of the Raiders.
So that tells me that they've got no idea. They're just going, everybody's got a name out there. We'll have them all. We'll see them all and see what happens. See who impresses best. Sometimes that can work, but normally it's like no. You normally narrow it down to like 2 or 3 guys. Go, look, man, these are the guys I want. Let's interview them bad boys and see who really does impress. You know what I mean? Rather than 8 guys, 10 guys. What's the point in that? You know. And I agree with the looks on this one. I agree with the looks. Do you give someone a second or first opportunity to get fired?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Been fired. Someone has to take a chance on you at some point. Yeah, it's very true. Very true.
Well, McVay must have been fired. Unless he was poached from here. Was he poached from here? I don't know.
Yeah, because he was the OC, wasn't he? And then he got the
Rams job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he hasn't been fired per se.
Okay. I mean, the other one
Shanahan had been fired.
Maybe from Atlanta. I don't know.
But he was OC, wasn't he? He wasn't.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was OC. He wasn't head coach.
He was there. So
no.
Yeah.
So I mean, the last one is Tennessee, and their head coaching requests have been Commanders, ex-Commanders OC Cliff Kingsbury. Raheem Morris again, Kevin Stefanski again, Vance Joseph again, Lou Amarumo again.
It's the same 5 or 6 guys, isn't it?
You know it is, yeah. Steve Spagnuolo's on this one, Matt Nagy's on this one, Jason Garrett, former Cowboys head coach. That's an odd one, isn't it? Yeah. Robert Salah's on for that one as well, which is like the 3rd time he's been on here.
If Spags doesn't get a coaching job, what do you think about him coming to DC? As DC,
I don't think he'd leave KC because and I don't think he'd leave KC because I mean I kind of think of what John was saying the other day. Yeah, I think he might. Yeah, because he's going to sit there and say how long's Patrick out for? He's out for a year, pretty much.
At least
he's not going to be back until the playoffs minimum next year. So what can you do anything?
They're not making the playoffs without Holmes. They're not making it without him. So
Kelsey's retiring. So
that team ain't that good without Mahomes.
They're going to be an absolute mid team next year. No doubt about that.
I mean, defense is still be quite solid. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah. Chris Jones and stuff is pretty good over there. He's probably he's the best D tackle in the entire game, Chris Jones. So they've got pieces. Exactly, they've got pieces, but it's not. It's a mid-range team.
Well, that'd put you off, wouldn't it? The face of your Spags.
Oh yeah,
what talent you got on defense? Yeah. Nothing. Okay, yeah, I think I'll stay where I'm at.
That's exactly it. What have we got? Absolutely nothing.
Level, yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Exactly.
It's a full-on rebuild. Yeah,
the two from the firings, obviously the firings that we looked at, I didn't think any of them were a surprise, apart from Baltimore, which is completely out of the blue. And then since Harbaugh went, now Miami have obviously pulled the fucking plug. Now he's really good friends with their owner. So what does that tell you already? That they are literally close friends.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He wants to go to Miami. No doubt he's going to Miami. What a place to retire as well. You know what I mean? Hello. Yeah. So he'll be. I think that is exactly who will be their new head coach over there.
Yeah,
and then that obviously opens up.
I'm shocked with that. I mean, at the end of the day, so you're saying to me like because a field goal guy missed a 44-yarder, that the head coach deserves to be fired.
Thanks to divine intervention. No, but then you think about if you saw,
they had so many injuries at the start of the season. That's why they went 1-5. They're awful. And obviously he got half his team back, and then look what he did. He went a good run there at the end, and he couldn't really made it.
Look at what Lamar Jackson's putting out on social media. Look at what he's through his head. He's completely out of the pram. There's pictures of him coming off the field. He's throwing water bottles at the fucking Ravens sign. There's his Instagram post has been like, now I'm free, all that sort of stuff. It's like, come on, dude. You know what I mean? You are the definitive of a system quarterback. You know what I mean? Honestly, yes, he's got MVPs and stuff. I get that. He's a really, really top level QB, but can he do it with a new head coach? We'll have to find out.
Well, we are going to find out, aren't we? We are going to find out that one.
It's interesting.
And the thing is, it's like Harbaugh is also the guy who likes to run the ball.
Yeah, but he's not an offensive guru or a defensive guru. He's a special teams guy. Yeah. So he's a leader. He's the leader. He's a leader of men. That's exactly what it is. He's the rah guy, and that's kind of how I want to. Exactly. That's how I want our team to be. DQ is your. I'm going to battle. I'm the leader of the men. I'm the fucking brotherhood. All this shit. You want your geeky OC in Mike,
yeah.
and who would you want then? Ideally for DC. That's a tough one because where'd you go? Yeah, Flores would be amazing. I
think Flores is number one for me. But again, I say, would he want to come here to?
Todd Monken's a good shout.
He does come with baggage. You know what I mean? Todd Monken, he's solid. Knows the area because he was Baltimore's, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah. So what about this then? So obviously Scott's got something in the chat for us there. He said, in Mahomes, they're hoping for a 9-month return. How realistic is that? Good question.
It's not because it's as in a good question, but it's not a good timeline for them.
No, was it an ACL? Was it that he did?
Well, he did his ACL. He did his meniscus with it as well, but he also did his LCL.
Oh, the lateral collateral.
Yeah, which is the rare one. So you don't see that one. That's why they went in next day.
So
normally you don't do that.
Is lateral inside the leg or is it the outside? Because medial's the inside, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So normally, see when you do an ACL, especially if you do it like properly, you get what you call the unhappy triad. All right. So, but that is basically your ACL torn, your medial meniscus / cartilage, and then your MCL tends to go, right? So that's your happy try. That's when you really blow your knee. Now, the thing is that Mahomes didn't do his MCL, which is quite weird, but he did his LCL, which is the lateral side, which is the one that very rarely gets torn. So that's the reason why they went in the next day, because that one had to be repaired first before anything else. So, so I don't know if they did the ACL at the same time. I don't know what happened there, but I know that's why, because some people were going, well, why did Neighbors wait 6 weeks to get his knee done? Mahomes was done the next day. Well, 6 weeks for the ACLs to let the swelling go down so they can actually stitch his knee back together when they do it. Where the LCL, they had to just kind of go, look, we have to do this one now. And they might have done the ACL then, or they might wait for another 6 weeks. You know what I mean? And while the swelling goes down from the LCL, repair, and they obviously did the tear, the other stuff, and then do that repair later on. I don't know what the plan was with Mahomes, but I just know that they went in to definitely do the LCL after basically the next day. So
we've turned into medical.
Again, so I think it's at least 12, at least.
We've turned into a medical podcast here, but and in general terms, then I'm going to stick with this subject just for now, just so I know. Would they do a graft in the same way, like hamstring graft or patella tendon? What do they use for LCLs? Is it the same?
Well, yeah. I mean, usually you take part of the hamstring, yeah. But again, what they could do is, again, if they really wanted to go down the cadaver route.
All right, yeah.
Cadaver LCL and just do direct like that, a direct replacement that way, which do work quite well actually. Cadaver ones nowadays, the way the techniques are and stuff for the surgeons, they're really good.
Interesting.
But again, it's hard, because I say normally see with the ACL, that's the one that you normally get your hamstring graft. As you know, you've had an ACL.
Yeah, I've had ACL, PCL, MCL. Yeah, I've had.
Yeah.
The only one I haven't had is.
It's the LCL, It's
the only one I haven't has the LCL, yeah. So
that's the rarer one you see, because that one's it's not connected to the actual knee joint. It's actually kind of on the outside a little bit.
Outside, yeah.
Yeah, so that one doesn't normally get whipped when you kind of blow your knee. You know what I mean? So that's why it's a bit weird that Mahomes' one did, but yeah. So we'll have to see how that one rolls. But I mean, I'm thinking at least minimum 12 months. That is. Before he's back.
So this is interesting because on Carmi's show last night, Benjamin Albright was saying that Minter to the Ravens as head coach with Cliff as OC, and then following that, Scott's also put that Jordan Schultz has just posted in the last hour that Cliff will have interview with the Ravens and the Titans for the head coaching position. So yeah, he's obviously getting some looks. No, he might do. I mean, look, he might do. Who knows? So I'm looking at this. Then he's got Miami, Vegas. Tennessee, and then he's also got Raven. Yeah, Tennessee is on there.
The Giants. You might get a Giants.
And Giants. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of talk. There's lots of talk of Harbaugh going to the Giants, but obviously now Miami's open. I would suggest that's where he's going. I would go to Miami. No doubt about it. Not because I actually think New York is quite an attractive job. For what you're going to get, you can work with Jackson Dart. You've got Cam Scatterby coming back. You've got a decent defense. You've got pieces there that you could make work with a few drafts. But I just think the GM there, Joe Shane, is an absolute shit show.
He has to go.
That's the problem.
Joe Shane has to go. Whoever that's why they should get rid of him now, and then start from fresh. GM first.
So I think I think the most attractive job before Miami and Baltimore opened. Obviously, Baltimore would be number one as the most attractive job. If I was in the running, where am I looking to go? Baltimore number one. Lamar, Derrick Henry, decent. You've got decent tight end, good offensive line, good defense. You're always in the postseason. Decent. I'm happy with that. Good cap space, good organisation. I think that would be the most attractive one to go to. Miami probably second again because yes, they've had a downturn in season, but they've got good players again on there. You need to upgrade their defense a little bit and stuff. New York quite attractive. Probably the least two. I mean, I actually think the Titans' job's very attractive. Believe it or not, even though they've got like a really low pick, which you can make a massive difference with. Cam Ward is a mould of clay and that you can mould into whatever you want. And I don't think he's had as bad a rookie season as everyone's making him out to be. He's certainly not a bust.
He starts to get better towards the end of the season, I'd say. And
they just need weapons. They need help. They've got no wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, they were using rookies, weren't they? The two rookies, DK and
I can't remember the other guy.
Anamayo, is it Anamayo? Anime or something like that. But he started those were his weapons, and the tight end, is it Okonkwo? Is he still?
Yeah, Okonkwo. Yeah. I think the most. The Cardinals are always going to be a basket case, no matter which way you look at it. I just think they're an awful team, especially like what do you do with Kyler Murray? What do you do moving forward? It's so hard.
He's such an in-betweener because he's so little. And you're thinking, damn.
Were you there when he walked past us?
Yeah, He's shorter than me.
You're fucking taller than him.
I'm 5'9". I'm taller than him.
You are not. You are. I didn't think you were 5'9". I thought you were at least 5'10", maybe a bit more.
I'm 5'9". Yeah, I'm 5'9".
He's smaller than me, and I'm 5'7". He's smaller than me.
He is small, man. He really is. You don't realize how small he actually is. That's why the way he plays is literally,
run,
legs and rolling out and all the rest of it, because he just can't. He can't stay in the pocket because the guys are too big. Can't get the ball through them. So
I genuinely think the worst of all of it is the Falcons' job. I wouldn't want that job if you paid me lots and lots of money. God no. Arthur Blank's an arsehole of an owner. I mean, no chance there.
He's old.
Yeah, I know that. But then at the same time, you're now moving into this president of football shit where Matt Ryan's there. The talent is there. They do have a lot of talent. But you've got Penix, you've got the decisions with Kirk Cousins. What a shit show that is.
You're cutting that shit. You're just taking the hit.
You can't. It's so much money.
Taking the hit. If he's crap, you might just get rid of him. Might as well. And Penix, you don't know what you're going to get.
That's what I'm saying.
ACL again. Third ACL, he's had done.
Third ACL. Both knees, isn't it? It's both knees. And he's got both.
Come back on a third ACL.
Yeah. So
I know a couple of guys have done it in the past. I know, like Davis, the defender who we had for like 1 year from the Panthers.
Was that not his Achilles that he'd done like 3 times?
Who?
Davis.
No.
Achilles he'd done.
The ACL. He had loads of ACL. Thomas Davis. That's it. He was linebacker, wasn't he?
Linebacker. He was at Chargers when he came to us.
He was Panthers. He was big Panthers.
Yeah,
guy.
but he went. I think he left the Panthers, went to the Chargers, and then we got him from the Chargers, if I remember rightly. But he was old as the hills. Yeah.
There's not many guys that have come back from say 3 ACLs and 1 knee. Like it's very rare to come back from a third. When you're looking at your third ACL, you are definitely getting cadavers.
Right, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because you don't want to keep taking hamstrings, or you don't want to keep taking part of your patella tendon from the other knee. It's just because if you can still go try and play, you've got to go cadaver after that. Because you don't want to keep picking off more strands of your patella tendon. You've got to use your other knee to actually be able to run. You know what I mean? So if you're like a normal person who doesn't need that, you might do that. But if you're an athlete, no, you're definitely going to get some cadavers after that one. Who's the other one you mentioned as well?
What jobs wise?
Jobs wise, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think one of the worst ones is the Raiders.
The Raiders is the worst. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. Yeah, you don't want to be going to the Raiders.
You got a crazy guy as owner.
Tom Brady looking over your shoulder every 2 seconds. Yeah,
thinking that he's the main man when he's not the main man anymore, bro. You're not playing anymore, so just go away. You know what I mean?
Just don't commentate. Yeah.
Yeah, just go and commentate. Stay away from me. Stay at my business. If I was the head coach there, stay at my business, bro. But
that was a surprise. Yeah. I mean, I didn't think it was that surprising. I did think Pete Carroll would be one and done.
I mean,
especially after the season they are. But
the thing is, I mean, I always think about that, thinking, well, unless Carroll actually wanted to go, because I know you could say you could have left on his own accord, but he got fired. Now the thing is that Pete Carroll's in his 70s, and it's hard to rebuild a guy that old. And you've also he
got fired in his 70s, so he's probably got enough money until he's gone.
Loaded.
You know what I'm saying?
He needs the money. He doesn't need the money.
I suppose you're right. Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, I just don't understand it. It's like, why would you bring him in and let him get past players who are past it, like Geno Smith and stuff like that, for big contracts?
Well, because Geno actually had a good season in
Seattle.
In Seattle, and then you're like, oh, okay, but they signed him to a ridiculous deal, and it's like 3 years, something. What was it, like
$50 million a year or something crazy?
20 odd million a year. It was ridiculous. So Pete Carroll is 74.
Yeah,
he's coming up. He's coming up to be 75. So he's got that, and he's getting paid till 2029.
Is he really?
Yeah, he'll be 79 by the time his money runs out.
Oh yeah.
One thing that
5
years, 5 years. But you imagine
really? Why would you give a 74-year-old that?
because you've got a dude who looks like his haircut's been done by Dumb and Dumber, I mean, he looks like Lloyd Christmas. What's he called? Mark? I can't remember. Mark Davis, is it? Yeah. What an absolute crazy hell. It is. It's crazy, yeah. Absolutely crazy.
That shows that the guy's got too much money, mate, because he's no 5-year deal or something like that. For probably, I don't know how much he was on, but head coaches tend to go for around 8
He was on 10
million.
He was on 10 million. He was on 10 million. Yeah.
This is 50 million. He's just lost it just by having that.
Yeah, I saw that as well. I saw Tom Moore just finally announced his retirement as well. It was 87. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but Tom Moore wasn't the head coach, though, was he?
No, he was like assistant to the regional assistant, which is pretty much my role on this podcast.
That's a passive role, that one he's got there. You know what I mean? Tom Moore, he's just like in the background chatting shit. You know, these other guys, you know, he's at the forefront of the game. You know, he's got to make the decisions and stuff like that. It's a bit different. And yeah, exactly. A senior offensive consultant. Yeah.
Born in 1938.
A friend of a friend's title, that is. Senior offensive consultant.
Of course it is. I mean, I remember him obviously being with the Colts, you know what I mean? So, yeah, but, man, jeez. Yeah,
Who?
And that's...
Oh, Tom Moore, you mean?
Tom Moore was at the Colts. Yeah. That's what you remember him from, but it's like, wow, okay, yeah. And he had white hair then. that was 30 years ago or 25 years ago, whatever it was, yeah. But there you go. I don't know. Right, we'll get into our fan questions then, mate. So Aled, who is at Wales Commanders, loves an away day, does Aled. Go and give him a follow.
Shame he loses every time he goes. So he's
yeah, we do, actually.
He's a bad luck charm.
He's a bad luck charm. No, he's not.
Yes.
Now that Mike McDonald is looking for a new job, how realistic is it that he ends up in Washington?
How realistic is it?
I think there's a chance, but I don't think it's realistic.
I think it's a 50-50, I think.
Do you?
I think it depends.
I think we have to be aggressive, like you say. I would be ringing him now and getting him on a plane. Like literally, fucking tape him up and get him on a plane. Exactly. If you have to send in Delta Force, by all means, go and do it. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
geez.
It all depends if he want to come back. I mean, that's the biggest thing for him. You know, obviously he was there through the Snyder era, so you're thinking, oh man, that's shit. But then obviously now thinking, oh, well, maybe it's different now, and that might help bring him towards us. But yeah, it's definitely not signed, sealed, or delivered. I think you probably still want a head coaching job, and if you can't get one,
I do too.
Then you might look at coming to us for OC. I think would be like his second choice. Any head coaching job first, and then us, if that makes sense.
Of course it is. If he doesn't get looks, because the thing is, obviously, the head coaching is on now, and anyone who's outside the playoffs, you can't. It's difficult to grab their OCs and DCs and stuff. I mean, you can't touch them at the minute. So, how many of the Mike LaFleur from the Rams? How many of the Jags coaching staff are going to get looked at? They're definitely getting looked at. So, them sort of dynamic offenses there. The 49ers, for example, as well.
If I was AP, I'd be ringing him straight away, saying, "Look, man, would you fancy it?" If he says no, fair enough. At least you asked. You know what I mean, straight away. And
thank you, Scott. Before we move on to all of our fan questions, and thank you, Ali, for putting that in. That is one thing I needed to bring up was Lattimore. Did you see?
Yeah, I was going to say
about him getting arrested.
Message then. So Scotty G mentioned on a player front, if there was any doubt that he wasn't going to get released, Lattimore sealed his fate last night. Yeah, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong.
So I don't know where he was. Was it in Vegas that he got done for concealed carry?
This guy had a bad week. This guy's going around fucking around
with a concealed with the firearm. I don't know. I haven't seen all that much on it.
Ohio.
Oh, is it Ohio? Was it? Thank you, Scott. But yeah, he's done. I mean, it's $19 million cap saving. We owe him no money whatsoever. Just cut him.
Bye.
He's not coming back.
I say even without all that crap, because that's one thing that, as you know, with anything with the potential X against your name, even outside of football, you're going to get binned from us. Like we're not dealing with any of that shit. Look what happened to McManus. You know
exactly.
I mean?
Gone.
Yeah, and that was an allegation. He didn't have a gun in his hand. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just it was an allegation about women.
He didn't physically get booked by the police, did he? And be like, right,
exactly.
I'm here.
Exactly. So he's gone, man. This guy's big time gone. Definitely getting caught.
100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. He is out the door. What we'll do, I think next week, what we'll do is we will have a deep dive on the season as a whole. We'll have a look at exactly all position groups, what was good, what was bad, where we went, how the draft class turned out. I think we'll talk about that as well. And then we can look at pending free agents, who's obviously now a free agent from the Commanders, who's left, because there's 30 players we need to sign. Who would you bring back? Who wouldn't you bring back? I think we'll do all that next week or over the next couple of shows, because we have to fill the time now. We're in the off season as well, so it'll give us a bit more. Yeah, I saw that he was arrested last night. I did see it for carrying a concealed weapon. Yeah, I did see that. Inappropriately handling a firearm in a motor vehicle. Yeah, what are you doing, rocking around with a gun? I mean, it's not. I mean, I get it. You know, you're entitled to your amendment rights to hold a firearm in America, but we don't have that over this side of the pond. You just get stabbed instead.
I mean, I'm unsure. I mean, obviously, you just get stabbed. Yeah, that's what we get.
Zombie knives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, machetes and all that slicing you up. That's what we get. But yeah, but go back to this. I mean, I don't know what obviously
the laws are on that.
Yeah, because some states, as we know, do allow concealed carry. You know what I mean? But obviously, you need a license for that.
So yeah, exactly, you do. I mean, you were saying he was a passenger and he didn't disclose that he had a weapon.
Well, could that just be more a mistake? Like he forgot he had it on him, or
it's not difficult to figure. It's not. You know yeah, he's probably not said anything and gone. Oh yeah, you know, try to play the I'm Marshall Lattimore card. Yeah. Because if you get stopped for a traffic violation, 9 times out of 10, the police will say to you, "Do you have anything on you, weapons-wise?" And they'll go, "No, I don't," or "Yes, I do." Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that. But state by state, it differs. Yeah, Rod's right. So
yeah, so I don't know what Ohio's all about. I mean, they might be more stricter than say Florida, because Florida's quite lenient with stuff like that.
Yeah, very lenient.
Yeah, free gun state and stuff like that, isn't it? Is it Florida?
Yeah,
and you can stand your ground as well.
So next question then we have is from Scott G, who's still in our chat. He said, "What will you need to see from the offense next season to say this change was right, especially since Cliff Kingsbury was going to be looking for opportunities to become a head coach? So this was never intended to be a long-term marriage." So what do you need to see to make it go right next season, basically?
Well, it'd be nice to keep players fit. That'd be nice. I know that's not a coaching thing, but it's that'd be useful if we could. I just want somebody who's capable. You know, who knows
competent play calling, running the ball. Is that what you want to become?
Who knows what he's doing at the right times to call the right call at the right times. Now I know not every time that's going to work, but 8 out of 10. That's what I'm looking for. You know, I'm looking for a guy who seems to know what he's doing. You know, rather than just I'll do some absolute stupid stuff that just doesn't work. You know, I want him to put players truly in the best positions to succeed. So play to the player's strength. That's all I want to see. You know, if it's a Terry deep ball, fine. If it's a Terry slam, fine. You know, if it's whoever else we get on the outside of his speeds, they're fine. Use it. Use their skills. Use their skills to rather than putting square pegs in round holes. You know what I mean? Just get, and also allow your system to mold around the players you've got. Like truly, you know what I mean? Because that's the skill, man. Because everybody's got a book like fucking, 12 inches thick of plays. Yeah. You know what I mean? Play calls and multiple files and can wow you with all this crap. But the thing is, can you adapt your system for the players you've got? That's the key. And adapt it successfully, not just, I'll just change a bit. To actually do it properly, you know what I mean? Where you can really fine-tune certain plays with certain guys. But again, sometimes you've just got to change it just a little bit, you know what I mean? I think that's what I want to see. I want to see adaptability. When the weather's, now it's pissing down. I'm not going to throw the ball 50 times. You know what I mean? It's simple math.
Or I'm not going to design 20 run plays for Jaden Daniels. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that should be your surprise element. That shouldn't be your go-to. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the first year, it kind of was a little bit more like the surprise because you knew he could run, but he wasn't run first. He was looking always to pass first. and then it changed. Now again, I don't know if that's a play calling thing or that was a Jaden confidence thing. I don't know, but it's either way. Whoever's coming in, full reset, but be adaptable and really, really tailor your plays to the skill sets of your guys. If you're aiming for your first read, it's going to be a tight end, well, you better make sure that tight end can, if it is a 10-yard hitch to the out or whatever it is, that guy can do a really nice kind of cut to the outside lane. If you can't do that, then what's the point in having that play for him? Yeah, true. It's really bringing it down to the nuances of that player you've got. What he's good at, what he's bad at, and these guys should know this. This is what their job should be. Really know your players inside out, the skills and weaknesses, strengths and weaknesses, and play to your strengths.
But also beneath that,
guys don't do it.
The positional coaches should also be telling the offensive coordinator in meetings, this is where we're lacking. This is what I need you to drill out. This is what we need to work together on. And I mean, you're right. I think the no huddle. Back to Scott's question, I think the no huddle stuff and the up tempo stuff has affected this offense and affected this defense. That's probably why we've seen so many pre-snap penalties. If the offensive line is supposedly the whole premise behind the no huddle and the up tempo stuff is you're fast, you're getting to the line quickly, you're scrambling the defense's brain. The defense doesn't have the time to then react, to make substitutions, to pull things around, to pick out where what's going on. The offense is down, they're there, they're set, their ball's gone, we're ready to go. The last few weeks, it hasn't been like that. It's still quite slow. It's still methodically, down. Number 53's the mic. Right, okay. Then we'll snap the ball. Then it goes out. It's been quite haphazard. But at the same time, we're getting pre-snap penalties. Maybe because the offensive line and tight ends are knackered. Because their brain's fucking mashed. They come into the line and they're like, oh shit, yeah, I'm at the line now. Oh, can I move now? Oh no, I can't. Right. Oh shit, I've given a penalty away. Okay, that's 10 yards. Back we go. And if you notice it, the vast majority of these are always on the lineman on the tackles. They're always on, most of them are on the tackles. Why is that? Then at the same time, if you're doing this up-tempo, no-huddle shit, you're constantly churning through. If you've got a crap quarterback or you haven't got your main player in and you go 3 and out, the defense has had 3.5 minutes on the fucking bench. They're straight back in again. They ain't got time to rest. So maybe if you change the system up and you have the time to say, no, let's huddle, let's call a play together, then you get in the time to rest for the defense as well, which in turn helps the offense.
That's why you run the ball. Do you know what I mean? Like that's why you run the ball. That's why, you want the long drives on offense. You know what I mean? You want those drives. One, you limit the other team's offense, but 2, your defense is staying fresher for later in the game. Yeah, so that's why run the ball is always a thing, and when Washington is always like run the goddamn ball and then play off from there. A lot more play action.
And it sets up play action later, as you just said. Yeah, exactly that. But
we're nobodies. I'm sure these guys who do this all day, every day, must understand that. But we're better with our hurry up offense, as you say. We are better with that. But because don't forget though, those plays are still vanilla. When you do that. Oh, you know what I mean? It's kind of a. Don't know what's happened there.
I don't know what's happened there, mate. Yeah, sorry, 2 seconds.
Have I left? Oh, we can hear
no, you're still there. You're still there, mate. I think it's just the screen. I don't know what the screen is. What the screen is doing. There we go. That's better. Sorry about that.
Sorry. So it's one of them things, man. It's kind of. It's everything's a balancing act, man. It really is. It's kind of like as you said there, taking your time, getting in a huddle, calling the play. If that's not working because you're getting minced, well, then obviously what you got to do is change it. So what do you do? Well, hurry up offense is a good way of changing it. Yeah. But you only do that sparingly. You shouldn't do it all game because, as you say, your defense might not get a chance to actually rest up. So
the reason I was trying to mess about with them is basically StreamYard has decided in its infinite wisdom, if you go to our YouTube page, you'll look and you go under the live banner, there's 2 versions of this show. So if you click on this show on a mobile phone, you have a very small side window, which if you move your head in a little bit, Scouse, you can see there's a side window. So hello Burrows and all that. So if Burrows and Scott G are watching on a phone, that's what you'll get. If you watch it on a laptop or you watch it on a PC, you'll get the mainstream that we have here in the middle. So what I'm going to do is after this one tonight, I'm going to bin this off because it makes no sense to have both shows like this because they've made changes and I don't think it's worked. So there you go.
Sweet.
So it just streams in two different things. It streams in vertical and it streams in normal broadcast. Call it a full screen broadcast. So that's why I'm on my. You have a small screen window as well. It's weird. Don't know then. No idea. Unless
I've looked at the settings, man.
Unless you click on one of the links, and that's the one that you've gone. Oh yeah, I'll click on that one, and it's the link for the mobile version. Deluxe, if you're still in our chat, which I'm sure you are, and if you're listening to this, I do apologise for going on a bit of a rant about this. You could explain it to Scott G because you had the same thing with the Bleeding Burgundy. It's all over the place. And Burrows there, Commander Bunker, he says, Jesus, I had Hartley's Hooter in HD there.
You don't want that, mate.
Just before we finish off, Scouse, as well, I've got one last question, which is from Tim Towner. He says, who will win the Super Bowl this year? For the last 9 years, this has been a game dominated by New England, Kansas City, LA Rams, Philly, and San Francisco. Will this year be a different team like Buffalo? And can they get to the top of the mountain? Who've you got?
Do you know why? Do you know what I think is going to be the sneaky dark horse?
Don't you dare say it. Don't you dare say it, and I'm going to have a party with a blonde wig on. Don't you say it.
No,
do you think so? Yeah, Seahawks. There you go. That's where I was going.
I thought you think about the Jags.
No, I'm Jags. Yeah, I was thinking, oh god, Jags.
The Seahawks, man, they got an unbelievable defense. You know what I mean? And Darnold is not amazing, but he does enough. You know, and you know, it's they got a good team there. They got a star receiver, got a good run game. You know, it's going to be, especially if you go and play in away at times and cold. You know, they're suited for it. You know what I mean? Like, I just think they could be the ones. I think I'm going to call it now. I think it'll be Seattle Pats at Super Bowl.
Oof, that's good. I don't believe in Denver. I think they're hit and miss. I think Bo Nix has got a rick in him.
We had them beat, mate. That's how good Denver are.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
We had them beat and fucked it up. That's our fault. But, you know, they didn't win that game. We lost that game. You know,
but
we're not that good, as you know. So
I don't think the Bears are good enough to do it either. I mean, the Texans have got a very good defense, but that's about it. The Chargers, I don't think, will get past the Patriots. The Bills are not the Bills this year. So
no, they're not as good as they were. So
I think it will be a Rams.
You think the Rams? Seattle torched them. You know what I mean?
I do. It was close. It was a close game. That actually wasn't a torching. I think the Rams will win the Super Bowl. I think it'll be a Rams 49ers NFC. AFC Jags against who will be in the AFC side?
Pats.
Yeah, a Jags Pats.
Yes, I just think Pats. Seattle.
So LA Rams and Pats Super Bowl is where I think it was going to go, and I think the winner will probably be the Rams.
I'm
not sleeping. I'm not sleeping on the Jags.
If it goes back to them two playing each other again, Seattle beat them again. Like, that's just how it works. They're built to beat them. They're built to beat them. Yeah.
Don't sleep on the Jags. He said. I mean, I get this every day at the minute. You know, with the wife being a Jags fan. It's hard. But yeah, it's we'll see what happens.
Don't forget though, the Jags. They as you always mention, catching lightning in a bottle. That's exactly what they've done. That's what they're exactly right now.
But I do think they have a really good head coach. The quarterback whisperer himself, Liam Cohen, did a really, really good job at San Francisco. At Tampa Bay, came into here and went, I'm doing exactly the same because this is like the best that Trevor Lawrence has ever played. So yeah, it'll be always go with a top QB for a Super Bowl. Yeah, I agree with you. Deluxe. Imagine if Hunter come back during the playoffs too. He's nowhere near Yam.
Oh, Pats.
He's not even
Pats have got
close.
a top quarterback, so that'll be all right.
Pats have got a top quarterback. You're absolutely right.
For my, I think.
What you mean?
Think
you mean Drake? You mean Drake May MVP? Because that's who it's going to be. No, he's going to be the MVP. Yeah. He's going to be MVP. That's for sure.
So?
Yeah, 100%. I believe that. People keep saying Stafford's the MVP. Blah blah blah. Darnold's up there as well. People are talking about Darnold.
Yeah, I don't think Darnold's MVP. Like, I mean, I say he's been solid. He's been great at some games, but he's inconsistent. But the Seattle's the defense is good enough to keep him in games. Defense wins championships, and Seattle have a really good defense. I mean, look what they did to us, man. We got fucking slaughtered in that game. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, it was. I mean, they took the foot off the gas. It started the third, and he still won by 20 odd. You know what I mean? Like, it was, it was impressive. You know what I mean? Like, they are good, man. And they've got the run game as well. They've got the run game as well to go deep, to go to, the tough away games, the away Eagles if they've got to go there, or you know what I mean, stuff like that. They can get it done. So,
agreed. Right, that just about does us, mate. We'll be on the same time next week. Evening Viscount, thank you for popping in just as we're about to leave. Apologies, mate. Yeah, if you haven't followed Commander Viscount, go and do that. He's a great guy, John. Shout out to him. Shout out to the Boar and Wood, who are nearly at the top of the league. Me, you, and Scouse will be crying and fighting with each other because Scouse follows York City. I follow, obviously, Carlisle, and your boys, Boar and Wood. Yeah, you put us to the sword the other week, so that's it.
Yeah, but see Boar and Wood, though. See Boar and Wood went, the pitch was frozen against us. You know what I mean? No one's going to get smoked.
I noticed that.
They're going to get smoked.
Night Rod, thank you for your questions. As always, we are about to get off, so appreciate you being on with us as well, mate. But yeah, shout out to Andy, Ian, Scott G, Rod, Yam, Deluxe, Jesse, and Viscount, all for being with us. Yam, obviously, reach out if you need anything, mate. Going through quite a rough time at the minute, so appreciate you being on here and taking the time to come and see us. But do reach out, mate, if you need anything. So that's what we're there for. And we'll be back the same time next week, Scouse. If you've got anything else that you want to bring up, mate, or are you just about good?
No, I'm good. Mate.
No, you're good. Right, well, thanks, everybody, and we'll see you same time next week.
Bye.